I'm Dave Emerson. I'm co-chair of the Enterprise Architecture Committee. I'd like to give my thanks to Mark Bush, who's my co-chair until recently. He has a consulting firm, Avistar, and his business picked up, so he stepped down, and there are nominations open for another co-chair. So nominations always welcome. Help always welcome. I'll just talk briefly here about what enterprise architecture is. A little bit new in the OT space. And I have an OT background, and by working with enterprise architects in the IT domain, Mark and some others, I've had some great help in the enterprise architecture working group. And also it's been a great way to bring together the IT OT knowledge, and it's been I think an educational and beneficial experience for everyone on the committee and the working group, and also the forum. One of the major functions of the enterprise working group is to bring coordination together between the business and the standards body working group, but especially with the technology working group. And we spent most of our time on requirements. We're responsible for managing requirements and owning the requirements. One of the things that has come in from the IT domain with the enterprise architecture is the enterprise architecture frameworks. Open Group has one, which they develop, maintain TOGAF, the Open Group Architecture Framework, very logical abbreviation. And I won't go into this in detail, but this is some of the structure that's brought into the forum, into the OT world, and we've had some great help again from the enterprise architects from IT coming in. I just can't say enough to thank them for their help. One of the aspects, and I'm not going to go through this in great detail, but just kind of shows taking that TOGAF methodology and some of the experience the enterprise architects have had on how to frame the user requirements. First the use cases, and then especially the end user requirements, taken down into implications and down into functional requirements, which then can be used by the technical working group as they create the specifications. And we've tried to focus the end user requirements, especially in functional components, to keep them very focused, to keep them very tangible. And I'll go through some of what we've done with the requirements. One of the things we've done with them is to categorize them by state models. And we're trying to be an agile group. We're not trying to get every requirement nailed down up front before we do any specification work. As you heard earlier, we have the preliminary specifications out. We've gone through numerous times the requirements within user groups and with the technical working group, but we're not doing a waterfall. We're doing a very agile, very fast-paced parallel work. And so there's continual feedback between the working groups. And this is what I think, because of this, we had the preliminary standard come out after just 1 year of real work on that. And then as we go into version 2, we'll work on the requirements for that. One of the, I think, best things that I was involved in this year personally was end user focused requirements workshops. And we had one in North America in Foxborough, Massachusetts. We had one in Germany, and they had one in Singapore. And we had really very good attendance, very good interactive discussions in these workshops. And we went through requirements. We would explain them, and by explaining them to the end users, it helped us document them better and define them better. And then we were able to get feedback and hone them and also identify new requirements. And we probably won't do the exact same workshop in the coming year, but we've talked about how we need to have similar type of sessions or briefings to the end user members in order to give them input on what the technical working groups are doing without getting down to the software level, but also, more importantly, get their feedback in so we can understand as a forum what end users think of what we're doing, where they think we need to go to solve their problems. This is just a little data fact here you saw the state model on where we're trying to manage the requirements. And this shows a little bit about where the requirements are as far as their status, but also where they're targeted to. The largest number have been assigned to version 1. And it's not that every requirement assigned here is fully completed. And so one thing we're doing, in fact, this week, be part of it, is we'll look at some of these requirements to decide, are they fully satisfy version 1? Do we have to do some more work in version 2? We'll also be continue looking at the version 2 requirements and in the member meetings in order to flesh those out and agree upon that, and then version 3. And of course, we've identified some requirements as duplicate. One of the things we're still doing is receiving requirements. There's no deadline, there's no endpoint on receiving requirements. And we have received a number which became duplicate, but what we've done is combine them, and if they were exact duplicates, it's no issue, but sometimes we bring a requirement in as a little duplication, another one, we bring that into the candidate requirements. I'd like to give a big thank you to Siemens. They've contributed to the Open Group OPAF Forum, one of their software products, Polarian. Before we used this tool, we were using spreadsheets, and it's so hard to track requirements with spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are great, but they reach a limit in what you can do and how you can manage them. This is just a screenshot from Polarian. This has given us very good tool to track the changes in requirements, to categorize them, and to have places for each subcommittee and each working group to put their comments in on it. So again, just a big thank you for that support, and it's really made us much more productive on that. As far as looking ahead, the version 2 requirements, last month we had a technical working group meeting, and the enterprise architecture group worked with them. We started to review the version 2 requirements. We have some more work to do on that, but it's well underway. And if you're a member, please participate. This is a great time to help scope out the version 2 work. If you're not a member, please join up and help contribute to that. So with this, I'll pass it on to Dennis Stevens, Business Working Group. Thank you.